guys, and welcome back to Birmingham Fan TV. This is your Bftv preview show with myself and the lovely Emily. It's the dynamic duo. We are back again after what seems like a really long international break and a hectic one, but that's not for us to get into. Guys, just before we get into the video, don't forget to like this video down below. Comment your thoughts all the way throughout. There will be something in it for that one, but we'll get into that in a second. And subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss any of the latest content. Guys, we are now going to be running a competition for 2 tickets for the Blackburn game on YouTube. I know some of you guys said you don't do social media. That's fine. We're going to sort you out this week. All you have to do to be in with winning 2 tickets in the cup for Tuesday night's game is to like this video. Make sure you are subscribed, and down below in the comments, all you need to do is leave your score predictions for the Leeds game, your goal scorers, and let us know if you want to be entered. Just a yes, I'd like to be entered in the competition. So score prediction, goal scorers, and just let us know that you want to be entered into the competition, and you will be put into the draw, which will be drawn out by Emily on Sunday. There we are. There's that one over with.
Woohoo!
So, on this week's show coming up, we do take a look at the league table and the standings so far in the Championship. We look back at the positivity from the Borough win, and we're going to look at all, obviously, that's come from that into the international break. We're going to look at Leeds this season, how they're faring, and just where they are able to hurt us on Saturday. And obviously, we're going to take a look at our Blues lineups and our score predictions for this tough game at Elland Road. So the league table, Blues sitting a very tidy and healthy 12th. About where you'd expect us this season?
I think so. I think if we're being realistic, then yes, definitely. I think with the whole positivity we had in the summer after the Monk sacking, and then Pep being appointed the weird title, but getting some really good signings in, I think we had a lot of positivity going into the season. But I think because obviously a lot of our players are new, it's going to take a while for them to settle in. And I think definitely 12th, I would have taken that this time last season. I would have taken that at the start of the season to be this far in already. So
yeah, no, I agree. I don't think much would have been expected from the start. I think it's more of a bedding period for Pep, and I think that he's done relatively well. We're not going to say he's done fantastically. We're not going to say he's done terribly, because he's won just as many as he's lost, so you can't really knock that.
I think he's done better than people expected of him.
Absolutely.
So
if we were 12th come the next international break, 5 games time, would you still be happy?
I think so. Yeah. We've got quite a few tight, tough games coming up, not in a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So I think definitely. I think 12th is where I would predict us to finish in the season anyway. So
and I think a lot of fans would be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah. So if we keep on that, then it's absolutely fine by me.
I can't say the board would be particularly happy with that one, as they've outlined their ambitions for promotion. Can't say that that's entirely realistic, but let's not count it.
Remember, they're football people.
They are, but yeah, certainly. Our last game was against Middlesbrough before the international break, and it certainly was a welcome win for Blues, and it was a fantastic performance to match the win. Just going into the international break, was that exactly the tonic that Blues needed?
I think so. I think we'd had a weird season so far. We didn't really know what to expect from each game going into the game. The lineups were almost predictable, but very unpredictable at the same time. So we had very similar starting 11 every game, except a few players would be changed. We never really knew what was going to turn up. But I think it was definitely I'd like to say almost not closure, but I like to think now that period of instability has maybe ended, and Borough, we clicked, we found our feet, we found our system, we found where our players played their best and what worked for them. So I think hopefully the negativity and the inconsistency is now over, fingers crossed, and Borough's going to platform us to be a little bit more successful.
I think that obviously everybody says it's a cliche that we go into international break, you need to go into it on a win. I don't think it's a cliche as such. I think it's true. I think people say it because it's true. If you go into it on a negative, you've got 2 weeks to sit and ponder, why did we lose that game? It's never a good thing, is it, really? You want to be going, how well did we do, and all of that. And I think that, it was the perfect win, it was perfect performance, and like you say, I'm hoping that it's the end of the inconsistency for us, because, to be honest, I think that's what's driving everybody mad so far this season is, we have fantastic wins, Charlton, Middlesbrough, and then we lose silly games, maybe Wigan, Preston, maybe silly defeats that really shouldn't happen. So we look at obviously our opponents for Saturday, a trip to Elland Road for Blues. So Blues have sold 2,000 tickets for the trip to Elland Road this Saturday at £40. It's fantastic sport, wouldn't you agree? I mean, we're either mad or loyal.
You know what? I think everyone probably echoes the sentiment that it's a lot of money. It's probably too much money.
Yeah.
But if you can afford it, it's one of the best away games of the season.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, the prices probably haven't brought as many people as we probably wanted to. But it is expensive. For both of us to go, it's the best part of £100.
You can't.
Plus travel.
Yeah.
Plus food. So it is an expensive away day, this one. But
it is.
You know what? Fair play to the people that can't go because we know you want to. But fair play to the people that are going. You know, we're all fans at the end of the day. That's it for me.
I agree. And Leeds haven't particularly been in, again, they're very similar to us. They've been, rather inconsistent so far this season. Looking at their last 5 games, they have a 2-0 away win at Barnsley. That was followed by a 1-1 home draw to Derby, who were, struggling a little bit at the time, so that would have been seen as a poor result for them.
Until they played us.
Until they played us, of course, but that's how teams break. They come and play us. A 1-0 away defeat to Charlton, which was followed by a 1-0 home win to West Brom, and a 2-1 away defeat to Millwall to finish just before the international break. They did have a man sent off early in that one. It's a battle of the inconsistent teams. We both know we've got quality, but I think it's whoever can straighten themselves out first. I think the first 10 minutes of this game are going to be important, but how do you see Leeds kicking on in this one? Do you think that they're going to kick on now this season after the international break? Do you see them breaking this inconsistency?
I think so. But I really think it's a game where if we don't stamp our authority on in the first 5 minutes, we've lost. Because the way that we've been this season, if we haven't been with it within the first half, that's it really. We need to be on our game, especially on away days. We have to be on our number one A game from the get-go, especially against teams like Leeds. Otherwise, we are going to get absolutely trounced.
Yeah.
The quality they possess in their team is probably one of the best in the league. So I think it's really important that we set our team out right. We have the right mentality going into the game, and that we're aware that they will, if we have the ball and lose it, they will counter-attack like no other team we've seen so far this season.
They do, but like you say, they like a lot of the ball as well. Yeah. They like to keep the ball, and they're a team that will hurt you. And like you said, Pep said in his pre-match today, how good they are, one of the best in the league, like you said. Have they been a little bit unlucky? Maybe, but luck only gets you so far in this league, as we've seen. We've rode our luck at times this season.
You also make your own luck in this league.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's about consistency. I think Championship is built on consistency. You'll see from Norwich, they didn't start particularly well last season. They got on a run. I think they went on 15 unbeaten and they found themselves top of the league. I think that's all it's about. I think now is the time that if a team's going to kick on,
they find
it now. So, the back end of last season, ever so quickly we'll touch on that. Leeds got beat in the playoffs. How do you think they've improved coming in through the next part of the season?
I don't think they've necessarily improved. I think that they've got the skeleton of the same team. They've had a few players in, a few players out. But I think if anything, it's the maturity of the team now. The team, they've grown together. They've had that big loss, but now obviously because they've done it together, they're going to want to push on and do better.
Yeah.
And they are going to probably try and aim above third, because otherwise they're going to get stuck in the same rut that they did last season, almost trying too hard and just missing out on the final few games. So I think if they're consistent from now on, they can almost afford to be lapsed, like unfortunately they always seem to be at the end of seasons. If they kick on now and they get the points early on, then I think they'll probably push it. But
they've got plenty of good players: Patrick Bamford, Calvin Phillips, Click, Helder Costa. They brought him from Wolves. Who do you see as the danger men that we need to highlight in it and almost nullify on Saturday?
The first man you mentioned, Patrick Bamford. I've always liked Patrick Bamford. I think he's a very, very, very influential footballer. I think you give him the ball and he will score. He's very talented. And I think he's probably the player that we're going to have to watch the most, especially with our defence probably being, apart from our striker partnership, being the weakest part of our team this season.
Yeah.
It's our defence that when they mess up, we get punished. So we need to make sure that they're on their A game, because Bamford will do them over.
Yeah, for sure. I think Helder Costa, has, the fans have been calling for him early part of the season. I think if he's on it, if he's starting, the home crowd get behind him. He's such a dangerous player. He's going to cause us all sorts of problems, in my opinion. The last 5 at Elland Road make for good reading for Blues. I think it's 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat for Blues. Last season, obviously, we recorded our first win of the season, 2-1, 2 from Shea. Before that, it was a 2-0 defeat. I think it was under Redknapp. It was one of his final games. And it was a defeat, unfortunately. We then recorded back-to-back wins at Elland Road. It was a 2-1 win towards the start of the season, a 2-0 win. I think that one was under Rowett as well, both of those under Gary Rowett. And then a 1-1 draw before that. So Blues have a very, very good record at Elland Road. It's well known that we do go there. In good, fine Fettle and Leeds are always doing well when we go there. They're not doing so well, so that worries me a little bit that, maybe we're not going to try and trip them up. But as for Blues, I mean, as I've seen today from Pep's pre-match, Montero is very, very close to returning. He's been back in training the last 2 weeks, so I don't think he'll make the matchday squad for this one, but certainly potentially in the next week or two, we could see Montero back as an option, which is fantastic. I mean, off the bench, incredibly electric.
Yeah,
when tired legs are out there, especially the opposition, he could run ragged.
Exactly.
Josh McEachran's very close as well.
Excited about him, actually.
Yeah,
very
McEachran,
excited.
very, very good player. But other than that, no new injuries to report. We've got a tough fixture list coming up, 3 games in the next 8 days. 15 points up for grabs. We've got Leeds away, Blackburn at home, Luton at home, Cardiff away and Fulham at home. How many points would you expect from those out of 15?
I think I'd like to say we're going to beat Leeds, but I'm not sure. So I'll go with a point from Leeds. Beat Blackburn, beat Luton, so that's 7. Draw Cardiff and lose to Fulham
at home. Okay, so you're going with 8. It's 8 out of 8 out of 15. Maths is
Hang on.
Maths is supposed to be her strong point.
Hang on, stop. So what did I say? 1
draw.
3, 7, 8. Yeah, 8.
Yeah. So 8 points. I would say realistically for Blues, I'd say 7. I think 7 out of 15. And if we can get that, I won't be disappointed.
No.
I think, like you say, we've got to be looking to try and beat Blackburn and Luton.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not going to be easy, but those home games you've got to be taking advantage of.
It's going to be hard against Luton, especially.
And then I'm looking at trying to get a point somewhere from Leeds away, Cardiff away, and Fulham at home. Not the easiest. I think Fulham, you can turn them over. I don't think they're blowing the league away, but when they're on it, they have some incredible players that shouldn't be anywhere near the Championship. But we always seem to have one of those teams in here, and they're never particularly phenomenal, I don't think. But we'll see.
Stoke.
Stoke did it last year, everybody thought so. But no, Fulham are okay. They're very dangerous on their day. So, team lineups for Blues. We get into this one. No fresh injuries to worry about. Any changes from the lineup from last Friday against Middlesbrough?
No.
You wouldn't change?
I've thought about it, and I think I would stick with the same starting 11. It worked. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, my favourite saying. Maybe swap out one of the midfielders for a more defensive lineup. Maybe take out Bellingham and put in Davis or Gardner. However, I'd like to stick with the same. It works. They've had a rest in the international break. Maybe Magoma could feature a little bit earlier on.
Potentially.
But yeah, I think it's a good 11 to go forward with.
This week is going to be important for Blues because 3 games in a week or 8 days. It's tight. The whole squad's going to be used, I think, over the next couple of days. You've got Tuesday night's game. You've got to go again after Saturday. There'll be changes for that. For me, I'd make one change from last Friday, before the international break, last game against Middlesbrough. I do feel that this game might be a bit too much for Bellingham. Now, not doubting his quality, he could go there, and for me, he could run the midfield. He could. But it's more his understanding of the game. He's still very, very young. He's got to understand when to sit back, when to hold, when we need that defensive solidity of 2 banks of 4, really tight. He had the freedom against Middlesbrough, and they never really tested him. They never really sat us back and put us under the pressure until he'd gone off, actually. So I would bring in someone to partner Sunjic, maybe Davis or Gardner. both could do the job in there on Saturday.
It depends whether you want a more attacking or a defensive role. Davis more defensive, Gardner
can do
more
the
attacking.
defensive stuff, and Gardner maybe in case you feel you can push onto them a little bit more. I would go with Davis personally for that defensive solidity. Maybe push Sunjic a little bit higher up to press higher up because we know he can press.
Yeah,
and he's got a fantastic range of passing and
shooting.
Evidently shooting after the last couple of games he's got a shot on him. So if we push Crowley and Vialba up with him as well and get maybe Davis to sit and do the defensive work, I think it could work. But Bellingham certainly off the bench again. I think he should come on, but then utilise him in the next couple of games at home to Luton and Blackburn. I think that's where he's at home, and we need to be more positive. That's where he's going to be more important.
I think he definitely actually could be the spearhead in getting something going in those games. So
I absolutely agree.
Actually.
Yeah. So one change for me. For you, no changes, but that's fair enough. The consistency.
Possible change of Bellingham out.
But you like the consistency in the team, so it's absolutely fair enough. And I think a lot of people would probably agree with you that don't change it if it's not broken. For me, I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I'm going to go with the one change. But other than that, I think the team's solid. Emily, score predictions to finish this one and your thoughts on the game quickly.
Let's just say it. 2-1 Blues. Why not? Same as last season, except Shay's not here. I think Jimenez will have a goal in him, and probably one from Vialba.
One from Vialba. Okay, another one for Vialba. That'd be nice.
Why not?
He certainly looked very, very, very sharp against Middlesbrough. One of our best players. It's a tough one. My heart says 1-1, and we'll get a point, and it'll be a good point as well. My head says 2-1 defeat. But I think in both circumstances, I think we'll play well. I don't think we're going to let ourselves down.
I think that's all that matters, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think if we go there, put in a good performance and show that, things have worked over the international break, nobody's going to come away moaning if we don't win that game or if we lose.
Yeah.
As long as the performance is there. I'm going to go with the 2-1 Leeds. But that's not me being negative, it's just being realistic. But let us know your score predictions. Don't forget, guys, and to enter the competition. Let us know in the same comment as well. I do hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. The match preview and match review for the Blackburn game will be one video. That will be out on Sunday, so don't forget to catch that one on Sunday afternoon. It will be a joint one because the schedule's tight and I can't turn around that many videos. I feel it'll be pointless, so don't forget to catch that one, guys. If you do want to enter the competition, you know what to do, and follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We will see your comments there for the game, pre-match, post-match, and your lineups. I've been James. Emily, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the weekend, hopefully after a good result. Keep right on.
Keep right on.